That is why substance abuse kills, because it kills physically as it kills spiritually. When I say spiritually, it's things we don't see, not necessarily from a religious point of view. Spiritually just means the invisible. Yeah, the invisible. So you find when it comes to people who struggle with substance abuse.
Hello guys, welcome to today's episode. I'm so glad to have you back, and thank you for those who watched our previous episode. My name is Harriet Wangu. I'm the host of Modeling Wellness Podcast, and we are here to develop ourselves today with another episode that we are joined with from a great friend of mine who we have known each other for quite some few times now, and her name is Tina Love, and she's a digital content creator, and she is a life coach. And she does a lot of videos on IG and TikTok about how to develop yourself, how to take accountability of your life, all those topics.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm here with her today so that we also get to hear from her from when she is close to us.
One-on-one.
One-on-one with us here, yes. So it's so nice to have you here, Tina.
I'm blessed to be here as well.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, you can say hi to my audience for Modeling Wellness.
Now my audience as well.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Tina Love. As you've heard her say, I'm a digital creator, a life coach, and basically my mission is to elevate societal consciousness. I love being a voice of clarity for people, inspiring transformation in the masses generally, and I'm really excited for what you're about to unpack in this session. So get ready. If you know me from before you've seen me here, I rant, I shout. If you don't know me, get ready, catch in, sit.
Yeah,
but otherwise, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
And it's how you give us that information, and we have to take it. We don't have an option as not taking it. Yeah, I think that mission is so nice that let's elevate our culture.
Like one thing I always tell myself when I'm creating the content basically is that it's about making math fun. I remember like back in school, you'd know you're having a math class and it's like, but then you change the teacher and it's like all of a sudden math is fun. So the thing is, it's not that growth or self-development or all these things are hard. It's just that who is communicating to you that process?
Yeah.
Who is teaching you what to do? Who is guiding you? It's about the mentor, not necessarily the topic or the issue at hand. So for me, I feel like it's about making it fun for people.
Yeah.
Because once you can trick your mind into believing that this is fun, it's going to be easy. You can go to the gym and be consistent, not because you're strong or because you want to have a physique, but because you get out of that gym feeling better about yourself, you know? So I feel like for me, it's about making math fun. Just make 1 + 1 to be 2, not 1 + 1 equals to 11. No one likes difficult. Everyone likes it easy, and that's my main aim.
Yeah, it's also how you give us like some points, because I follow you on TikTok a lot. You give us like specific points, do this, do this, do this, do that, and I find your method of making it fun, it's actually very fun because someone will stick through and learn one or
people
2, 3.
like it.
Yes.
You know, I remember when I started my journey, it was so frustrating. I know what I want. I know who I want to become. But everyone on social media is just giving me vague advice. Wake up at 5 a.m., do this, become this. But it's like I'm doing all these things and I'm stuck. But then I sat and I realized, what if I made it easy for other people? What if I showed up in a way for other people that I wish someone showed up for me when I started?
Yeah.
That is it. And I was like, you know what? And I realized that after I started showing up, people are like, you explain the nervous system so easily. You make science of, and I'm like, wait. So people actually love this. People actually relate with this. And I'm like, you know what?
Because when someone says nervous system, it's all another definition of science.
It's like biology. And I'm like, I don't like those terms. Yeah. But when you tell people it's this and this, because this and this happens, like they normally say, if you can't explain it to a 5-year-old, then you don't know what you're saying.
Okay.
It needs to be so simple that a 5-year-old can listen to you and say, I understand what you're saying. So if a 5-year-old cannot sit down and say, I understand that Tina Love has said that my body feels like this, or I'm like this, then it means at some point it's not simplified enough.
Okay, that's nice. So today we are going to talk about self-development. And for me, I believe that we might be 20s and above, but there is no age that it's the final stage of where you're supposed to do self-growth or self-development. In short, changing our life around. Like, you see, this is not good for me. I want this. How do I do the self-development? Do I self-improvement? And where do I start from all that?
Okay, when it comes to self-development, one thing I always remind myself, and I tell people older than me actually, is that it's never too late to start over.
Yeah.
As long as you're not 6 feet under the ground, as long as we have not written a memoir or we've not written an obituary, that thing, yakuzika, it's not too late to start. And I feel like especially for the I'm a Gen Z, but for the other generations that came before us, there's this narrative of you only have between your 20s and your mid-30s to build.
No.
After that, you're late, you're behind, you don't have it, you're not allowed to build. But then self-development it's growth, it's a journey, it's about expansion. You never stop growing, because where growth stops, decay starts. You see? And it doesn't matter if you're 45, if you're 20, if you're 55, it doesn't matter at what point, because self-awareness and that awakening comes for different people at different times, because you wake up when you need it. The thing is, we are normally hidden in plain sight. I never used to be Tina Love all days. I used to be another girl, shy, quiet in a corner. And if you compare her and me, you'll be surprised at the difference. It's because I woke up at a time when genuinely there were other people who needed me. But there's someone who's going to wake up when they're 55. They're going to have that click when they're 40. Some are going to have that click when they're 10. It's because it comes to you when it's ready, when you are ready. So when it comes to self-development and growth, you genuinely just need to sit and tell yourself that at the end of the day, it's a race against who you are, not what other people are. It's literally a race against who you are. If you can wake up today and say, yesterday and today I can genuinely see a difference, you've grown. Because I can be walking.
Yeah.
Someone else is riding a bike. Another one has a motorcycle. Another one has a car. Aya, tuingie section ya magari. With cars, there's different tiers of cars. There's always going to be a better car. This gets to show you that in life, there's always going to be someone who's better than you. It doesn't matter where you are. You might be the richest person, but you're sick. You might find someone who is really poor, but they're healthy. So you really need to learn and sit and define what happiness means for you. That is the basis of self-development. What does happiness mean for you? Some people think happiness for them means going to the gym 5 times a week. Fine. Me, gym, I cannot slap more than 3. I will fall. But I'm happy with that because I know I've worked to the best of my capacity. And when it comes to starting on your journey, it's about going with grace. Mimi nasemanga give yourself grace. Because as you continue, up to recently, I still have these flashes of things I did, of places I went to, of how I handled situations in the past. And when that happens, it's easy to fall into guilt. It's easy to feel like you're not enough. It's easy to deal with these feelings of inadequacy and shame. And shame is just, shame and guilt is, when it comes to frequency matters, shame and guilt are like close to death. Literally close. That's why when you feel shameful, when you feel guilty, you feel compressed. You feel like dying. You feel like you do not deserve anything.
Yeah, you feel like disappearing from the world.
Exactly, because it's literally next to the frequency of death, which is literally, at a negative. So it's a matter of giving yourself grace. When it comes to starting, because people normally ask me, how did you start on your journey? I did not start. It started me. Self-development is not something you wake up and say, you know what, I'm going to read 5 books. I love because when people ask me, how did you start your journey? I'm like, my journey started me. I was just seated, existing, but then it's like something isn't adding up. My reality, how I feel, what I know I could become, something isn't adding up. And when you get on that quest, you automatically start. You don't even start with knowing. It's down the line you realize I've actually been on a self-development journey. I've actually been learning about myself. I've actually been unlearning old habits and patterns and tendencies. So you don't start self-development. It starts with you. And for the most people who are able to start and sustain, because many people start self-development, many people start reading books, many people listen to podcasts, but 5 months down the line, where are they? They don't still read, it gets boring. Curiosity drives self-development.
Okay, that's nice.
If you come from a place of curiosity, from a place of, I want to be, not from a place of, I want to be like her, no, that is comparison. Comparison is bad. If it comes from a place of, what can I learn? Imagine the version of me that has read like 5 books. Imagine the version of me who knows about business. Imagine the version of me who has this knowledge when it comes to skill stacking. Imagine the version of me who has mastered manifestation. Personally, that is how I move. I'm like, imagine the version of me who knows this. Imagine how they live. Imagine how they react. Imagine how they conduct themselves. And it's like in pursuit of that version of yourself, you start unearthing things about your current self, things about how you grew up, things about how you handle. You literally just unpack. And the thing is, you deconstruct. Self-development is painful.
And a lot of work.
Painful. And when I say painful, let me say it properly. When I say self-development is painful, I'm not saying it from the point of you have to wake up at 5 a.m. Personally, I don't wake up until 10:30. And I'm very self-developed. God, it's painful because as you grow, as you learn more about yourself, you're not learning more, you're unlearning the past. You're replacing old belief systems, you're replacing old thought patterns, you're replacing old identities, old perceptions of life, literally deconstructing the 3D in real time. And you find what happens is it becomes painful because mentally we can adapt. If a crisis was to happen, if something was to happen here right now, you can think and say, I'm going to do this, I can run.
Yeah.
But physically, your body will go into shock. It will go into shock because everything your body has known as safe all of a sudden is not good for you. Your body is like, what do you mean? Everything that we did is not good anymore.
Yeah.
You're taking away my safety. You're taking away from me. And that is where the battle within starts. I want to be, but I can't stop this.
You can't stop this.
I want to, but I can't. It's not that you can't. It's just that you're fighting against your body. And I talk about this a lot when it comes to matters, nervous system, regulation, and all these things. Self-development is a wholesome experience. People think it's about reading. And let me just digress. Aesthetics are driving people mad. This shenanigans of going on social media and perceiving self-development as waking up at 5 a.m., taking cold plunges, going for whatever kilometer run, reading 69, fine, good. But what is the essence of all that if you don't find fulfillment?
Yeah.
Why should you read 5 books like a robot when you can just read one and learn so much about yourself?
Yeah.
Because you came from a simple place of curiosity. So when it comes to self-development, people have a wrong perception on it because they look at it from a point of aesthetics. And you find that this is a trap that even self-development gurus like me fall into sometimes. And it's about, I feel like you're strong not because you're not weak, but because you move in spite of weakness.
Okay. That's
Yeah?
a good one.
Yeah, you're not. So it's like you're going to have those days where you sit and you're like, I know all these things, I teach people, but still I have a blind spot. Still I have so much to learn. Still I have a long way to go. That is the beauty of it.
Beauty of it.
That is the beauty of it. And I feel like when it comes to self-development, understand that you'll never be perfect. Some new girl is going to come up tomorrow. She knows so much better than me. She's 5 years younger than me. Is it a competition? No. There's an audience for her, there's an audience for me. There's things for her, there's things for me. So when it comes to self-development, it's about working with your body. So it's not about reading 5 books a day, fitting a certain, checking things off your list, your to-do list. I did this. No, it's about who did I become today? I broke something. How did I talk to myself? I was late for a meeting. How did I react? How did I communicate with myself? I did something wrong. I hurt someone's feelings. How do I feel about myself? What did I tell? What is the internal dialogue that was going on when I realized I did something wrong? That is self-development. That is what self-awareness is.
Yes.
And when it comes to self-awareness, it's not about, if you call yourself self-aware, but you simply primarily focus on the things you need to improve on, you're not self-aware. You're actually insulting yourself. You're actively breaking yourself down in the name of self-development.
Okay. So what am I supposed to do?
When it comes to being self-aware, you can sit back, observe, and say, you know what, this happened and I should have done better. But I actively understand that I'm growing into versions of myself. The fact that I was able to recognize that, it means that I'm already improving.
Okay.
I'm not worth just because I change. I am worth because I acknowledge the possibility for change.
Okay.
You know?
The possibility for change.
Yeah. So when it comes to being self-aware, don't just focus on the things you feel you need to improve. I need to improve on my talking. I need to improve on my discipline. It's like, yes, these things could be done better. But these things I'm already doing.
Yeah, sure.
There's things I'm already doing. There's things 5 years ago you couldn't do.
Yeah. Perceptions
that 5 years ago were not even real to you. Experiences and conduct that 5 years ago you couldn't even sit and say, actually, I move like this.
So
but you
true.
see, now you do.
Yeah.
So self-awareness is about embracing the things you need to improve on, but also actively celebrating the things you've already done.
Oh, okay.
It's about finding a balance. Because if you don't, it's going to tip on one side. If you focus too much on what you've done and ignore what you should be doing better, now you get into a space of comfort and you start declining, because where growth stops, decay starts. It doesn't matter how high you've gone. If you do not sustain that level of operation, you're going to go back down. So it's about, yes, I'm happy, I've done this, but there's a version of me that is waiting for me on the other end of this action that I need to take. Yeah.
Okay, that's so nice. You've given us a very good breakdown of what self-awareness is, self-development is. Then you've also touched about something about patterns. I think patterns are something that unknowingly or knowingly, they come back to our memories, and you realize this is something happened to me last year. This is something I did something last year. And sometimes we either tend to either acknowledge it or we just brush it off. But patterns are something that they will keep on reoccurring until you
actively clock them.
Yes. So let's talk about how do we maybe identify those patterns, give them a name, or how do we manage them? Like, because sometimes those patterns are not some of the best things that we actually want to exist in our life. We want to put them aside, but how do we solve them so that next time you have that click on it, you realize this is what happened to me last year, and this is how I handled it. Yeah.
Very good question. As a life coach, I've seen this with most of my clients. When someone comes to me and they say, Tina, I'm struggling with this, I can't stop doing this, or I want to start doing this, but I can't seem to stay consistent. I'm like, why does it sound to me like you're shaming yourself?
Okay.
Why can I sense some level of guilt, embarrassment even? And they're like, no, I just wish I could be, perfectionism. Perfectionism is an enemy if you're trying to change habits, if you're trying to adopt new patterns, because you can't counteract what you do not identify. Even when it comes to war, you can't beat your enemies until you know them from within. So it's about understanding those patterns, understanding yourself in order to realize how you can actually combat it. Now, when it comes to breaking patterns or these behavioral tendencies or adopting new habits, like I said earlier, self-development is a wholesome journey. So it's not just about the mental aspect of it. It's mental, it's spiritual, it's physical. All three play a significant part. There's none that is less of the other. When it comes to breaking these things, people tend to come from the approach of, okay, I do believe in a higher being. I do believe in a higher divine being, a higher energy, consciousness itself. But I'm going to address the specifically religious people. You can pray. God is real. Prayer works. But even as you're praying for strength to break these temptations or to break these tendencies or to break these habits, are you listening to the man inside you? Are you listening to your body? Because I talked about it and I said, habits are not just primarily stored in your brain or in some mental part. They are actually in your body. When you say, I'm going to give a very good example. Someone who is addicted to substance abuse. They are addicted to these things. They're taken to rehab. They go, they stay 5 months, they come out clean to back. It becomes a pattern. They even get tired. But even as much as they get tired, they still want to change. It's because what you substitute for in overindulgence physically is a sign that something is actually missing emotionally.
Okay.
Repressed emotions manifest as physical starvation. So if you have unprocessed feelings of guilt, shame, inadequacy, feelings of unworthiness, what do they manifest as? Substance abuse, people-pleasing tendencies. Because now, mentally, you tell yourself that I feel like if I do this, I'm not going to feel like this anymore. That is why people-pleasers can't stop people-pleasing, even after they're in their self-development journey for the longest time. Because to them, people-pleasing is their way of proving their worth. They believe worth and love is earned. They don't believe that they can just be loved by existing. They don't believe in the notion of sitting and just receiving. To them, it's like, I have to do, become, show, help, assist, go out of my way to mentally tell myself that I'm enough. Substance abuse, it's mostly primarily around shame and guilt. When you're dealing with shame and guilt, what happens, like I told you, frequently you're operating close to death. That is why substance abuse kills, because it kills physically as it kills spiritually. When I say spiritually, it's things we don't see, not necessarily from a religious point of view. Spiritually just means the invisible. The invisible. So you find when it comes to people who struggle with substance abuse, yes, it's a physical thing, because when you use these drugs, certain hormones are released in your body. They're spiked. Your body it craves that. But at the same time, your body craves release. It craves safety. And if you cannot give yourself that safety, your body will actively look for it in other things or other people. People who can't seem to get out of toxic relationship patterns. Is it that they're unlucky with love? No. It's just that they do not know how to actually operate in life from a point of judging these interactions with people. So to them, it's like they meet someone who looks fairly good, treats them fairly nice, they're the one.
They are the ones, yeah.
And that is your body clinging to the closest story of safety. That is your body clinging to that person because there's a version of you they bring out that you love. We're going to talk about this later on, but with every pattern that you feel you have, every habit that you feel you're trying to break and it's not working, sit down and ask yourself, what is my body trying to tell me? Your body is not addicted to that substance, to that person, to that place. It's addicted to the safety that comes with that thing. And what you need to focus on is giving yourself safety. And I normally talk about when I say establishing somatic safety is important. If you're looking to improve your life from a business point of view, from a personal point of view, you just want to have generally better relationships, you just want to have an overall better experience in your 3D. Establishing somatic safety is key because this vessel is what you use on a daily basis.
Yes.
This body gets you from point A to point B. This body ensures that you can have manifestations in your mind, mentally you create them, but it takes the action. The 3D plays a part. So if you do not learn to trust your body, if you cannot sit and listen to what your body is trying to tell you, then you're working against yourself. They say the enemy is within.
Yeah.
That is what they mean.
It means.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that one. I also think that there is some time back, I was feeling like some part of my life was just not aligning. And it is so challenging and so not fulfilling not to live a wholesome life.
So you just feel like something is missing and
something
you can't.
is always missing. Like you might be doing this and this and this, but along this combined, something is always missing. And I think that especially when you are doing life in this adult stage, can be quite confusing because I think people used to say peer pressure was when we were in teenagers, but right now it's very easy to follow someone just because they invited you to somewhere. Simply because you're feeling like your life is not there yet, but you want to feel it with other things that just come easily with you. And I love the way that you have said that until we find something we fulfill that thing so that we maintain a balanced life, that's when we are going to have a wholesome life. And I think now that one leads us to the next question of what you have just talked about, interactions. I feel like when you're interacting with someone, they either bring out the best of you or the bad of you. And then people tend to get attached to either of these sides. Either you can get attached to someone because they bring out the best of you, or you can get attached to someone because they bring out the worst of you. And how do we, as a general humans, how do we identify that the self, the interaction, sometimes you need to have control over it. Let it not control you so much so that you do not give out too much energy or receive less energy on your side.
Thank you for that question. Now let me sit properly. People are mirrors. Yeah. Physically, I don't look like you. You don't look like me. But you are a reflection of me. You remind me of something about myself. I remind you of something about yourself. When I say this, it means when you meet people in whatever situation or whatever circumstance, people will either remind you of something that you were, something you actively are, or something you want to become. That is why there's people you'll meet, you'll envy. Yes. That is who you want to become. There's people you'll meet, you'll hate. That is who you are. Especially if you do not like the version that you are. You haven't made peace with who you are. You do not understand why you did the things you did. And then you meet someone who's doing those things, you're like,
no,
I don't vibe with you. We're not on the same level. Yes, you're not on the same level, but it's because they remind you of who you are. Some people you meet, you click. They are you, you are them. So when it comes to dealing with these things and having a safe level of attachment and detachment, if you find yourself with limerence, these people who actively obsess over people in a very short amount of time, you meet this person today, you're already thinking up of so many scenarios of things you could be doing, of things they could be doing to you. Understand that you are falling in love with a version of them. You're not falling in love with them. You're falling in love with a version of this person in your head. And what happens is, If you do not understand that you're chasing yourself in people, you will never stop chasing.
Okay, chasing yourself.
You are chasing yourself in people. I'm going to give a very good example. Let me address my lover girls. The lover girls who are ever falling in love. Monday to Monday, you're ever nursing heartbreak. Why? If it's not Kevin, it's ever someone. It's not because they are unlucky in love. It's not because their attachment style is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's simply because this person that they are obsessed with is actually a physical representation of a version of themselves they wish they could become.
Yeah.
Anxious attached people are specifically drawn to avoidance. Why? It's because subconsciously, a part of them wishes they could be avoidant like that.
Okay.
Avoidance, most of the time, they do not like anxiously attached people. They withdraw. Why? Because avoidance actually have not made peace with the fact that intimacy is safe. And intimacy is what is represented by anxiously attached people.
Mm-hmm.
You meet someone, they're doing well, their money is good, their looks, like their life is just good. For some reason, you feel envious and you hate yourself. You're like, I don't want to feel jealous, but I do feel jealous.
Yeah.
I tell people envy is good because that is your soul telling you, this is who you are. What you're dealing with is a scam. That is who we are. And the anger that comes with not understanding how you can become them leads you to extrapolate that inadequacy and make them feel like they're the bad person. They're not.
Mm-hmm.
So people are actually mirrors of you. So I normally tell myself, like, when I meet with someone and automatically don't like them, pause, why? I'll actually realize most of the time, either they said something that triggered me, that is my wounds speaking, or they did something that resonates with what I did in the past. And yes, I've forgiven myself, but I can't help but feel like, why are you reminding me of a past I do not want to remember? Yeah? And when it comes to having a secure attachment with people, like I said, work with your body. Because when you feel anxious in a scenario, when you feel anxious in a certain relationship dynamic, you feel it mentally, you feel that exhaustion, but also physically, you feel like, you're looking at the phone, have they texted me? It's been 10 minutes, not 10 hours, 10 minutes. I can't breathe. I genuinely cannot breathe because they have not texted me. It's because this person is your attachment figure. And your attachment figure is who your body associates with safety. So if you're in a relationship with someone and mentally, and you see when someone becomes your attachment figure, both in a platonic or romantic scenario, they have a certain hierarchy in your mental space. They literally have a booked room that is just theirs. So when they are not in that room, automatically it's like, apana, something isn't right. I will not sleep until they call me. Then when they call you, all of a sudden life is good. But before they called you, you were dying.
But that is giving them so much power.
But see, the thing is, people don't know how to take back that power. And most of the time, that person does not know they have that power. That's the funny thing.
Okay.
That person does not know. Some people, yes, are people who are actively manipulating you, breadcrumbing you, then pulling back. These people know they're hooking you to these dopamine hits. But most of the time, people don't even know what they're doing to you. They do not understand that their silence is killing you. They do not understand that their withdrawal is actually destroying your functionality. So even when someone is an attachment figure, be it a friend, a parent, a romantic partner, if they do not communicate, if they do not reach out, if they do not actively tell you that I am here for you, my friend, you will die. Because you see, as human beings, we like to prize ourselves in saying that we are better because we build. But at the end of the day, we are primarily animals. So when it comes to matters of survival, we move from a primal point of view. It's instinct over intuition. Mm-hmm. Yeah? So you find when it comes to this situation, at that point, your body does not care if you're a millionaire. Mm-hmm. And this boy or this man is in a lower paying job than you. At this point, this person is the object of your survival. And that is what your body wants. And that is what your body will push you to chase. That is why you find that sometimes there's this weird relationship where I feel like someone is very successful, but they are broken by someone. Truth be told, it's like apana, no. And they themselves cannot explain how they got there. It's because your body does not care about who you are, it doesn't care about your goals. It primarily cares about your survival. So you find if this attachment figure is not present, if they do not actively reassure that they are there for you, you're going to chase them. You're going to feel inadequate. You're going to feel scared. So I tell people, like, when it comes to relationships, both platonic and romantic, genuinely have an awareness as to what attachment style you have. Are you a purely avoidant? Are you an anxiously attached human being? Are you a mix of both? Mm-hmm. Or are you secure?
You're secure.
From there, you can actively filter who you are okay interacting with. Because if you're an anxiously attached person, you can't force yourself to be with avoidance if you want peace. They will never give you peace because you chase them. It creates this dynamic of you chase, they push back.
Yeah.
They pull back. You chase, they pull back. You chase, and it becomes addictive to you. You're breaking, but you're chasing. You're breaking, but you're chasing because you don't understand why you can't stop. And this person, avoidant, they hate the fact that you're chasing them, but when you stop, they come back. Why? Because they actively love that attention.
Okay.
They love it. It's toxic. They love it. So if you're an anxiously attached person, realize that you can only either be with secure people, because secure people with a secure attachment style, they bring security in you. So they actually help you to evolve into a less anxiously attached person. They create safety for you. Or maybe, not even maybe, secure people. Just be with someone who has a secure attachment style. They are not perfect, but they give you that communication that you want. They give you that intimacy you want. They give you that consistency that you genuinely need, because you cannot survive without that consistency.
Okay.
Let the avoidance deal with the avoidance.
How will that relationship be? The interactions
now,
between
here's the funny
avoidance?
Part. Avoidance rarely stay with avoidance. An avoidant relationship, unless there's an active transactional value, avoidance have no business being with avoidance, because I'm avoidant, you're avoidant. Who's going to talk?
Okay. Yeah.
I'm okay with silence, you're okay with silence. Who's going to talk? The relationship just ends. I find myself with an anxiously attached person. You get?
Yeah.
So you find even avoidance, when they get with a securely attached person, with time, this securely attached person communicates to them that intimacy is safe. It's okay to lower your guard. Then that happens. Then the shift happens.
Okay.
So avoidance with avoidance, rarely. In the dating pool, it's rarely, because we'll meet, you'll give me your number, I'll give you my number, we'll talk 2 days, I don't like you don't like me, bye. But I meet with an anxiously attached person, I'm like, this person wants me. And you see, with human beings, the feeling of superiority is very addictive. If someone can make you feel like they depend on you, you're like, amen. Purely survival. It's purely primal instinct.
It's primal instinct.
It's primal, and it's stored in your body. That's why when you're an anxiously attached person and you're having those attacks, those episodes, physically you crash out. You can't eat, or if you eat, you overeat.
Yeah.
Your gut just feels wrong. Your gut you just feel a certain anxiety, like, anxiety rests in the gut. So when you're anxious, when you're having these episodes, you're like this, because you feel you're compressed, and actually your frequency, because science, when matter is heated up, it expands, particles move, but when it cools, it condenses. Frequency is like that. So if you're an anxiously attached person and you're having that episode, your frequency is like this. That is why you can't breathe, you can't eat, you're crying, you feel like dying. But the moment they call you, it's just like a burst of heat and the particles expand, and all of a sudden you're good.
You're good.
So
then you forget about it.
That's what I'm telling you. It's a wholesome experience. It's mental, the stories, the psychological input. It's physical, the physiological response. And also it's emotional.
Let's continue on the part of emotional. How much does our emotional maturity or quotient, should I call it that, play in all these relationships and interactions that we have?
Emotional intelligence is a key factor in all this. And people like to pride themselves in saying they're emotionally intelligent until they're put in a corner where they're tested. Then they realize they're not. That is something personally, it hit me. I used to be like, I'm so emotionally intelligent. I know how to conduct myself. Until I was put in a corner where I'm like, no, thank you. I don't want this.
Yeah.
But then later on, I came back and I realized I ran away from that situation when I could have learned from it. So emotional intelligence, first of all, is an awareness of your emotional state, your disposition, and also an awareness of the other persons.
Okay.
Because if I'm an emotionally intelligent person and we have a squabble or we argue, typically if I'm not, what's going to happen? I'll throw words or I'll walk out. Understand that walking away from situations and overreacting are roughly the same. It's two different, it's like two sides of the same coin. You ran away because you couldn't handle the heat.
Yeah.
You blew up because you couldn't handle it. No one is better than the other one.
Yeah.
People like to say, like, if you walk away, no, you're not.
No.
You're not. You couldn't sit in the heat. But you see, when someone who's emotionally intelligent and we argue, I can sit here, look at you and say, you know what? You said something that hurt me. But at the same time, I understand that it was coming from a place of hurt. What did I do to hurt you? So it's not about you did this to me. It's not ego-driven. It's about what can I do to understand what happened. We sit, we talk, we understand each other.
Yeah.
And you see, when it comes to that, it's having a certain level of social awareness. That is why there's people who can enter spaces and they just blend in because they can read the room. They can physically they can tell, but also from a conversation they can tell this person will get along, this person not so much. Yeah, but you see someone who's not emotionally intelligent, they can just get into a room. It's serious business, but they're just like, what are you doing? Vice versa. It's a happy, and then they're just there. They're just there. So for me, I feel like emotional intelligence is about having an awareness as to your own emotional disposition as well as the other person's. Because if you can calm down and put yourself in that person's shoe, you can actually realize maybe I did something to them, or maybe me not doing anything is what hurt them. Sometimes it's not what you do. It's about the fact that you did nothing.
Okay. So doing nothing also creates an impact.
Exactly.
Okay.
A lot of relationships, opportunities are lost because people did nothing when they were supposed to do something in terms of communicating and establishing grounds for understanding. Yeah.
And how do we now show up for our own emotional intelligence? Like if you want to grow in it, so that you start practicing it once in a while, so that we take care of those people also around us. How do we show up for that?
Emotional intelligence, the best way to go about it is build an awareness around your immediate reactions to things. You see, like, if I get you unawares, that is you in your natural state.
Yeah.
Without you having room to pretend, without you having room to prepare, that is you. But if I get you when you had time to prepare, that is not you. That is a face you're showing me. So when it comes to building emotional intelligence, it's about learning to be very aware of your impulsive reactions. The things that you do and you say, ni mimi, it's just me, but it's not you. It's not you. You can always react. You will always have a choice. Yeah? You will always have a choice. So I say it's about highlighting that if it's maybe relationships, you notice that when people don't talk to you for some time, all of a sudden you blow up, you block them, you run away. Ask yourself, why is it that I feel the impulse to run away from this situation instead of sitting with the discomfort and asking myself, what is the problem? If it's arguments with people, you realize that you don't even have, you can have silence. You can listen to someone argue, someone express their point and have silence, a silence that comes with reckoning, introspection. It's like, let me go think, I'll come back. But then there's another silence that's just like you're stonewalling people.
Yeah.
You do not want to be confronted. But when it's you are so confrontational. You know how to speak for yourself. But when people are trying to speak up for themselves against you, all of a sudden, oh no,
you
I don't have the energy. Yeah. You're being biased. That's a blind spot. Yeah. So if you find that you're the kind of person who just walks away, you just walk away without even listening. Why is it that you find safety in walking away? Why can't you sit with that discomfort and ask yourself, this person is hurt. They're genuinely reacting like this because they're hurt. Am I validating their response? Maybe if it was disrespectful, no. But I'm just saying it came from a place of hurt. Is there something I did or did not do that spiked that level of reaction?
Yeah.
And when you do that, you realize you make peace with yourself and you make peace with people. And also when it comes to emotional intelligence, it's also about like having grounding techniques for yourself. Like I said, if you know you get angry and you get vocal, if anything, you want to bite someone's nose off.
Yeah.
You need to have a grounding technique. Is it breathing? Is it journaling? Is it listening to music? Do you need to listen to angry music?
Yeah.
It will calm you down. Go do that. It's better than biting someone else's nose off. It's better than punching someone and getting fired. If you feel like when things happen, you get so emotional, you genuinely want to be better, but you can't help but feel like you're drowning in your emotions. What is the one thing that you know if you do right now? That is one question I normally ask myself, and I advise people to do that. When you're in an emotionally heated situation, ask yourself, what is the one thing that I know if I do right now, I will go back to my grounded state. I'll go back to my balance. It always comes. We tend to ignore it. It always comes. And most of the time, it won't be binge eating or binge watching. It's going to be either sleeping, reading a good book, going for a walk, listening to some calming, talking to someone, talking to yourself. I personally talk to myself when I am angry. When I'm angry, I'll just talk to myself and you'll think I'm mad. But that is my way of processing the situation. I'll come back and we'll talk. So it's about having grounding techniques for yourself. Is it breathing? Do you need to breathe hard? Do you need to go out and listen to music? Do you need to do something? Yeah?
Okay.
So that is how you go about it.
Okay. I think this one now, it's we need to do something, how we adapt to life. And we are adapting to life with so many things coming on to us. Like, we need to regulate our emotions, we need to regulate our physical and mental well-being, we need to regulate a lot of things. And how do we come up now to, how do we manage now all this at a more harmonized way, so that none of it goes so much above, none of it's left so much behind?
I'll give you a very weird answer. Organized chaos.
Like, we just have to do whichever comes first.
Life is chaotic. The 3D, the way it is built, it is chaotic. Realities interlap. Physical things interlap. Things happen. You're going to wake up, you break a nail, you go out, your landlord is there, you go out, your boss is... It's like, what did I do wrong?
Yeah,
Why?
People say that today I woke up on the wrong side of bed.
Exactly. It's about understanding that life is chaotic. And when I say organized chaos, I mean staying grounded in chaos. When people try to live better, when people try to improve their overall experience, they think it's about, and I've seen this with my clients, especially in manifestation, they think it's about omitting things in the 3D, changing things. You don't change the 3D. You adapt and it follows you. So when it comes to dealing with life stresses, you're going to have rent due, you're going to have bills, you're going to have unplanned for, you're going to be called and told your sister is in hospital, you're going to have things that are going to happen that you did not expect. It's about, first of all, staying safe in the knowledge of unpredictability. Staying safe in the knowledge that something's going to happen. Something's going to happen, but who will I be when it does? You see, when things happen, we are so focused on what will I do.
Yeah.
Instead of
solving
who should I be. Because if, let's say, let me give you a theoretical example. You're a business owner. You run your own business, your own enterprise. Something happens, sales just, clients, and it's like, oh my goodness, I have bills to pay. I have bills to pay. God knows I have things I need to do. But there's no money. Physically, you say, your eyes report to your mental that there's no money. What do we go? Our default settings is do more, advertise more, or do all these things, show up more. But have people ever tried looking at it from a point of who can I be? In this moment of stress and in this moment of anxiety and this moment of apparent lack, who can I be to ensure that I get through this with my sanity intact?
Yeah.
So you find that when you shift identities, when you can jump from being this to now operating from some other place, how you handle the situation is very different. How you communicate with people is very different. Because if you come from a place of a stressed business owner, a struggling person, someone who has mental or like financial issues, you're going to come from a place of scarcity and fear. You communicate to people, you think you're telling them about your service to them, it's like you're being too desperate, you're pushing. Stop pushing. And it's not that you're pushing with your words, you're pushing with your energy. I can feel that you're trying to get money out of me and I will not give you my money. Your service is good, but I will not give you my money.
Where does that... I feel like sometimes humans have a tendency of, if I feel you're coming too much to me, I tend to withdraw or hold back.
It's about human psychology. I don't want to feel like I'm buying from you. That serves you. I want to feel like I'm buying for me. That serves me. So you find when you're coming from a place of scarcity, you're making me feel like I'm buying from you. Humans are inherently selfish. That is how we are. We are inherently selfish. And I feel like when it comes to the self-development space, people want to put it like, oh my gosh, it's love and light. No, it's not.
No, it's
ugly. No, it's not. I used to wonder, like, why am I not having this love and light moments? Why am I dealing with... You know what? They did not tell me this. These gurus do not tell you this. But I personally tell people, I'd rather tell you the ugly truth and you deal with it than sell you a dream and come to realize later on that I lied.
Okay.
Yeah? So you find that if you're coming from a place of scarcity, like I said, your energy communicates lack. It communicates desperation. It communicates... And that is when people pull back from you. That is when all of a sudden no one wants to buy. No one wants to do this. It's like you're shoving it in their face. And you see, your energy communicates before you do. Your aura precedes your physical, like, you know. So if someone enters a room like this, before they speak to me, something's going to come off. We're going to have an energetic transference and I'm going to be like, or... It's because your energy speaks. But if you shift and be the person who understands that these are things that happen, and The universe loves equilibrium. So for there to be highs, there must be lows. You can't recognize joy if you've not known pain.
Pain, yeah.
You can't recognize financial abundance if you've not known instability or maybe being broke at some point. So it's literally a matter of looking at life from a point of you are given a coin and you can't take one side and leave the other. It's about who you become when you're given the other side that you do not necessarily like.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you're coming from a place of, I understand that this is what is happening, but who can I become in this moment? You can become the person who understands, first of all, equilibrium is necessary for wholesome experience, which means there's a high that is coming, but only after you get through this low. You're on the bottom side of the wave, but there's always going to be an up. It's inevitable. Yeah, it's inevitable, but you're going to get to that up if you stay up on this down. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And also, if you're coming from that place, you won't be trying to sell a product or you won't be trying to solve a problem for yourself. You'll be trying to solve a problem for other people and they will equally compensate you. I talk about that when it comes to like matters business. Don't sell a product, solve a problem. Service over sales any day. So you find when you come from that place, you might not get sales still, but how you perceive that situation, you come out different. Where you would have come out crying, bitter, angry, you come out rejuvenated. You come out having learned that, wow, this is what works. You didn't fail. You just figured out all the ways that did not work.
Yeah.
You get?
Yeah.
So it's about who you are in that chaos. It's about who you are when that thing happens, not what you do. Not what you do. That is, I feel like that is something that people really need to be active on working on. Focus on who you are in that chaos, not what you should do. Because if you're coming from a place of the 3D, physical action is actually the lowest.
Okay.
Physical action is the least impactful because when I say I'm going to move this chair, I'm literally moving physical particles. But I can sit here and visualize a scenario whereby these chairs have been moved and I am in a place of comfort. That's when someone comes in and they help you.
Yeah.
That's when someone comes in and they're like, I'm going to move that chair for you. Why do you think that happened? It's because you communicated to the universe the ease, the abundance, and the security, and it in return rewarded you with that assistance. So it's about matter of do, but what is the intention behind the doing?
Okay, the intention behind the doing, yeah.
It's not just the doing, I'm going to do, no. Why? It's the why. Even we find like, and I talked about it when I said like, when people have the purpose deficiency syndrome, like you're living, you're existing, you're not living. You're just existing, you're alive. What do you do? I just do this, yes. But when I take away those things you do, when I take away the physical, the roles, the activities, who are you without that? Because personally, Tina Love, yes, I'm an online persona. Take that away, take away the social media, take away the business. Who am I? I have an energetic role to play. I'm a voice of clarity. I'm not a digital creator. You can take the digital creator, but you can't take the clarity I provide.
Yeah, sure.
So when it comes to like the matters of purpose and everything, it's about the why. You find people saying, I don't know where to start. I want to leave my 9 to 5 and become an entrepreneur and run my own business. I don't know how. Why are you focusing on the how instead of the why?
The why, yeah.
Because if you focus on the how, economy becomes a factor. Physical space becomes a factor. Finance becomes a factor. People become a factor. Your own capabilities, your own talents, your own skills. Paperwork becomes a factor. But when you focus on the why, all you focus on is what can I do to help. I've seen a problem. Maybe someone in my family struggled with addiction. It hurt me and I want to help other people. That is when you start creating content, like creating awareness around addiction. That is when you start doing research on addiction issues. That is when you start building from a place of purpose.
Yes.
The why. You start building from that. You don't start building from the point of how. And you find when the why is solved, the how and the when show up.
Sure, yes.
That is why when you start doing things from a place of genuine not seeking to like abandon yourself, not like free service, but in a sense of I genuinely want to give back. I genuinely want to help the version of me that I want to be that person that I wish I had when I started. And when you become that, you find people are like, you're doing such an amazing work. I love what you're doing. How can I help you? That is how sometimes you find you can even monetize things you did not know you could monetize. Because you came from a place of why and you solved a problem. Rich people are not rich because they have the best businesses or they have the best products. They are rich because they solve a purpose.
That's it.
Look at Apple. Let's just digress a bit. Look at Apple. They don't sell phones. They sell luxury. They sell identity. When you buy that iPhone, how do you feel?
Nice.
When you walk down that road with that iPhone, how do you feel?
I'm an iPhone user.
And because they've made you feel like that, the universe compensates them through you paying them. Look at Coca-Cola. They don't sell soda. They sell fun, family time. Look at the adverts. It's people on a table having fun. It's friends.
Yeah.
When you use Coca-Cola, when you guys are out and you're having nyama choma, what comes to mind? Fanta, leta soda, wekele hapo. You leave that place and you're like, I had really so much fun with my friends. They gave you that, and the universe gave them money through you.
Yeah.
So it's about so the why. What feeling do you want to evoke in people? What do you genuinely want to sit and say, if someone looks at my brand, if someone looks at my business, if someone looks at my product, how do they feel?
How do they feel?
I will not buy a notebook. I will buy the experience of journaling my emotions. I will not buy a dress. I will buy the identity of being beautiful in a dress. I will not buy a perfume. I'll buy smelling nice. We buy experiences. We buy versions of ourselves.
That's nice. I love how you have put it that way.
Yeah.
We're buying the feeling. Okay, now when you're dealing with clients, which has how in Kenya or East Africa, whatever, what is that one thing that most people we are struggling with?
Identity
Crisis.
Identity. You see, people like to say, I know myself.
Yeah, my name is...
You don't know yourself. You are just conscious of things you do. You do not know yourself. You're just conscious of how you do things. When people say they know themselves, they think it's because they know what they do best, how they react best, what they know, what they don't know. That is just you being conscious of traits about yourself. You see, let me stick with me. Tina Love. That is an identity. Yeah? That is a self that I am working with. I can wake up today and say I don't want that and build a whole other persona. Does that mean I don't know myself? I just know that self that is associated with Tina Love. But at the end of the day, I am consciousness unfiltered. So Tina Love, Harriet, we are consciousness passing through different filters. You're the host, I'm the guest. There's a buyer, there's a seller. There's a client, there's a coach. Consciousness passing through filter. It's like the rainbow, the way it passes through a pyramid and it breaks into 7 parts. You get?
Yeah.
So when it comes to my clients, a common base issue that I've seen is identity. Because someone will come to me and say, Tina, how can I make more money? Or Tina, how can I be more confident? The first question I normally ask them, because they come to me looking for techniques.
Yeah.
It is not my job to tell you what to do. It is my job to show you what you've been doing wrong. Then you figure out what you're going to do differently. So when they come to me for techniques, I normally ask them the first question in our coaching sessions. I love this. The first question I normally ask themselves is, who are you? Simple.
Who am I?
I am nani. I do this. I am like, no. I've not asked you your job. I've asked you, who are you? I remember this one client I had. We went for like an hour just
asking
back and forth. I'm like, who are you? I am a father. I'm like, you're not a father. Who are you? I am a business. You're not a businessman. I can take away that, because if I can take it away from you, it is not you.
It's not you.
I am not Tina Love. You can take away that from me. Someone can come and run with that brand, but they can't take what I bring. That's the difference. That is who I am. It's my energetic contribution to the plane. You get? So we went back and forth, and eventually I told him, you are not what you say. You're not your name. You're not your title. You're not your job. You are the role you play. You are the energetic contribution you bring, because there's something I bring someone else cannot bring. They can bring the name, but they can't bring what I bring. There's something you do. There's how you do it that defines you.
Yeah.
And you find when it comes to identity, when you deconstruct that, I find that clients have some type of shock. They're like, you have taken everything away from me that I knew. What is left? And I told them that is what you are, nothing.
Yeah.
That is what you are, nothing. And you understand that when you're coming from a place of identity, when you work on your identity, everything else aligns. Because people don't pay you for what you do, they pay you for who you are. People don't like you for what you do, they like you for who you are. When it comes to self-development and growth, you do not do the things you do because of what they are. You do them because of who you're going to become when you do them.
When you do them, yes.
Identity.
Yeah.
When you buy that pass, when you invest, you're not doing it because it feels nice. You're doing it because it's taking you a step closer to a version of you that you love. Identity work.
Yeah.
So when it comes to my clients, I normally tell them, I don't care if you want more money or if you want better relationships. Understand that if you do not work on your identity, you're going to run around in circles. That is why a lot of people are stuck in this self-development loop. It's taking in content, applying 2-3 days, it's not working.
It's not working.
Another new book has come out. New medicine has come out. Nini has come. You're going to run around in circles until you realize it's about who you are. It's not about Tina Love as a digital creator or a life coach. It's about Tina Love as a voice of clarity, as a voice of transformation. Because when I speak, someone learns. When I speak, things spark in people and they're like, oh my goodness. That is not something someone else can bring. And even if they can bring it, they won't bring it the way I do.
Yeah.
You get? So it's about asking yourself when it comes to this self-development, what do I want to come to someone's mind when they think of me? When they say Tina, when someone can say Tina and they're like, what? That girl shouts at me, but I learn. She's funny, but I learn. It's crazy, she shouts, but I learn. What about for you? When someone comes to this podcast, what do you want them to feel? What do you want them to get? And they're like, you know what? I love everything, but I learn. But I'm different. I feel different. I've learned something. I'm new. I'm better. You get?
Yeah.
So when it comes to growth and self-development, it's about identity. That is one thing I normally emphasize for my clients. And I tell them, if you come to me looking for strategies, you're going to be disappointed. Because I think people want an easy fix. That's
people want to do 1, 2, 3. I'm finished.
1, 2, 3,
tasks,
jump,
I'm done.
pass. Nah, self-development is ugly because right when you think you know yourself,
something else hits you.
You are going to sit down and you're going to break down. But it is in that breaking down that you grow. It is in that shedding that you become better.
Okay.
So I normally tell people, when you come to me looking for strategies, you're going to be disappointed because I don't come with, do this, then you try this. It doesn't work like that. I, first of all, want to understand, why do you do things the way you do them? Who is at the core of these actions? What past actions or what past events led to you acting like this?
Yeah.
Because you do things because of something happened, because something happened before. You don't do things like that because that is who you are. You do them because this is who you are made to be by things that happened to you before. What happened before? Once we get to what happened before, what is going on now? What are we actively dealing with? And what do you want to become? The strategies in between, yes, there's some that I'll give you, but there's some things that are just intuitive. They're going to come to you and you're going to be like, this works for me. Because there's people you tell to journal, they don't like writing.
Yeah.
There's people who just meditate.
That.
They can just sit like this, and after an hour, they found a solution. There's some people who need to write. There's some people who need to cry. So if I come and I give you strategies, I'm literally giving you what works for someone else. I'm putting you at a disadvantage because I'm not allowing you to harness your own intrinsic abilities. You get?
Yeah.
So common base problem with clients that I've worked with so far, identity. Not knowing yourself from the point of what you can do or who you are. Do you know your space? Do you know your place? Do you know your purpose? And your purpose is what you do differently. What makes you you? Not just your name, not just your title. What makes you you?
That's so nice. I think now when you're coming to the end of this episode, I would like to know which is that 2 main advices that you have given them that you feel like these are your most precious advice that you can give to anyone
when it comes to identity.
Yes.
Number 1, learn to move from a place of I can start again anytime, any day.
Okay.
Because when it comes to identity work, people are so attached to things, to places, to things they have, to titles that they have, that it becomes a problem. Because you want better for yourself, but you're moving from a place of this is me. I can't, this is me. This is not you. You want better for yourself, but you're not willing to share the identity that is not allowing that betterment. And I understand that when it comes to growth is signified by identities. That is why people say I've changed. That is why people say I have changed. You can't recognize me from 5 months ago. You can't recognize me from 6 months ago because identities change. And when it comes to upgrading your life in whatever aspect, it's not about doing more, it's about becoming different. Who are you? Who are you to facilitate this? Because everything you want has an energetic content to it. And when you're trying to acquire it, it's your identity that will facilitate its entry into your 3D. Because you can't say you want to make 100K, but you're moving from the mindset of someone who makes 30.
Yeah.
It won't work. You'll make 100, you're going to lose it, overspend it. You're just going to find a way to get it out of your system because energetically you cannot hold it. It's like this. There's only so much this verse can hold. This is your identity and this is the reality that you want. At some point, you're going to outgrow this thing. You're going to need a new one. If you don't, you're either going to die there or you're going to break the thing. And that is what happens. Identities have to shatter. You're going to wake up and you're going to realize, Aki ya Mungu, I don't know. I don't know where to start. And that is good. I normally say rock bottom is a master's best friend. Because from rock bottom, the only place you can go is up.
It's up, yeah.
Nowhere. Yeah? number one, that moving from a place of knowing that I can always start again.
Yeah.
Do not hold in. That's even personally my content, it fluctuates. I can be using a board today, tomorrow I'll use a whiteboard, tomorrow I'll use a projector, tomorrow I'll go back. Like, I'm open to experimenting because that is who I am. I am not rigid. And that is what I advise people, even in business, even in personal life. Move from a place of understanding that you can always start. And when it comes to the company you keep, move with people who bring out the best in you.
Okay, yes.
Move with people who bring out the best in you. And not the best in you in the sense that they entertain your indulgences, they entertain your fantasies. People who challenge you when you're losing yourself. People who can sit down and say, you know what, I know you can do so much better. What is going on? How can I help? People with whom when you have disagreements, they can sit and patch things up because this relationship is worth having. People who speak to you before you believe in yourself. Because when you're starting out, it's always a voice outside of you that is going to speak life into your dreams before you can speak them into yourself. Like when I started, I used to sit and I'm like, how am I going to be like these top gurus? Alex Homozi, Iman Gadzi, Myron Golden. I'm like, nah. But it's just that one friend who's like, I've watched your YouTube video, you better continue. Ingine natoka lini. And when someone speaks like that to you, you're like, wow, so I can actually do this.
Yes.
So have people around you who speak life, because words have power. Words have power. And if you see people who are struggling in life, most of the time they have someone around them who is speaking death into their dreams.
Yeah.
You're never gonna nini. Wewe kazi yako, you just want to do this. You're lying to yourself. It doesn't work. The economy, no. Shut up. I don't care about the economy. I am the economy because the money moves through me. I am the vessel for that currency. So have people who speak life into your dreams. They better... If you don't speak life into my dreams, why are we friends? Because when I'm driving a jet, when I'm on a jet, you'll want to get on it.
Yeah,
but did you speak to me when I was still on a bicycle? Did you tell me that I am worth it? And number two, another advice I normally give people. Anytime, any day, grace. Grace over guilt. Prioritize giving yourself grace over guilt. Especially if you're at that point in your journey where maybe you're trying to break bad habits or like bad tendencies. And one thing I tell people, controversial, but personally I feel like it's true. You have those habits and you're stuck there not because they are bad, but because at some point they served you.
Yeah.
You're addicted to bang, yes, now. But at some point your life was breaking and the only thing that could keep you sane and safe was bang.
Yeah.
I do not blame you for needing it. We all have to survive. That is one thing I don't feel like addicts or people who are struggling with this are told enough. At some point, that thing gave you peace. Yes, maybe you didn't start using it because you wanted it. Maybe it was peer pressure. Fine, but at that time, that was your way of getting access to acceptance. You were hurting.
You were hurting, yes.
You were hurting. People who maybe struggle with like certain things, you're struggling with these things because you keep breaking yourself down. And what happens is you do it, you break yourself down, you start crying, you start hating yourself, you need relief, you go back. It's a never-ending cycle that feeds itself. So I normally tell people, grace over guilt. Whether you're dealing with an addiction, whether you're dealing with a bad habit, whether you are starting over in life, whether you are experimenting with something new business-wise, personality-wise, it doesn't matter what you're doing or at what point you are on your self-development journey. Grace over guilt, especially women. Let me talk to my ladies. You're not a man. You're not a man. And I always tell women this. Where we live in a world built for men by men. Truth be told, the 9 to 5, Monday to Monday,
yes.
8 a.m. to 9. A woman can't work like that. There's those days of the week you're like, let's go. Take me out. I want to be outside. But then there's days it's like,
no,
I beg, please.
I can't do this.
I can't. Leave me be. Wachana mimi. So you have to understand that, especially as a woman on self-development, the content that has been highly prioritized over the past few years is primarily by men. The gym culture, cold plunges, waking up at 5 a.m. I'm not saying women can't. Neither am I a feminist. But I'm just saying that you need to learn to work with your physiology.
Yeah.
Not what everyone else tells you need to work with. So especially for women, grace over guilt. There's those days you're going to tick everything on your box and you're going to be like, I did this, I went. You're going to feel like a baddie. These days you can't even lift a spoon.
Yeah.
It's okay to sleep. It's okay to sleep. I understand that life is hard. Sometimes you are forced to move, especially like on those days when you're in your menses. It's okay. But give yourself grace. You set boundaries and you're like, you know what, the next relationship, I am going to do different. You get into the relationship, you tolerate this nonsense. you end up hating yourself. You feel like, you know what, maybe I'm not worth better. Maybe just this is what I'm worth. Understand that you are not like that because it's your own wanting. You're like that because maybe you grew up being trained to believe that that is what you are worth. And forcing these mental beliefs, like replacing these mental belief systems or like changing these things, it takes time. Mental, energy, and physical, because what you believe affects how you feel.
Yeah.
And when you want to start believing differently, your body's gonna be like, why are you taking us?
Why are you changing?
Why are you changing?
Yeah.
I like us like this. But it's like, I want to change, but your body's like, we will fight. And that is when you actually fight with your body. So it's like, you know what, I understand you do not feel safe, like the body. I understand you do not feel safe. Talk to your body. I understand you do not feel safe, but this is for the best of us. This is what is going to give us better. And with time, your body will learn to lean into your intuition.
Yeah.
Your body learns to trust you. But until your body learns to trust you, you are going to fight. That is why you're going to have to give yourself grace. So number 1, identity. Learn to move from a place of knowing I can always start over.
Yes.
And number 2, grace over guilt.
Absolutely.
Addiction, new habit, whatever it is you want to improve on. Grace over guilt. You did not show up well today? Fine. There's always tomorrow. Sit down, plan again. You did not feel like maybe you were at your best today, or you do not feel like you are the best person to people you love. Sometimes you hurt people, the people we love. It's okay. Sit down, apologize, and say, you know what, I understand I hurt your feelings. I'm going to try and do better next time. It's about forgiving yourself as you forgive others. Because I remember there's a session we were having with a client, and they were telling me that they feel like they've not been up to task the past few weeks. And they feel guilty. And I told them, it's okay to feel guilt. It's okay. Some level of guilt, it's good. It drives you to stay accountable to yourself.
Yeah.
But the client was like, I don't know why, but I feel bad. I feel bad. And I told them, when you start telling yourself these things, you do not show up for work today, or you do something, or you do not submit a project in time, and you start breaking yourself down. What is wrong with you? You're not enough. If I bring your inner child, physically, that baby, and I put her here, upper, and I tell her, talk to her like that, will you?
Yeah.
You won't.
Yes.
You don't talk. I told that client, you don't talk like that to your children. Why do you talk like that to yourself?
Yeah, they are so, like, when it comes to them, they are like, unabembeleza.
You raise kids, but you also raise yourself. You're never going to stop being a parent to yourself.
Yeah.
And that is where the grace comes into. So every time, even personally, when maybe I do not show up in a certain way, or I feel like I've fumbled, I sit back and I'm like, no, that child does not deserve that level of self-criticism. Apana. It is not right. And immediately you stop in your and you realize you're hurting yourself. That session got emotional.
Okay.
Because they were like, I've never thought at it like that. I never thought I was actually hurting someone within myself. Because your inner child is always going to exist within you. You grow up physically,
forever,
but they're there. That little girl that comes out when you're given chocolate, that little girl that comes out when you're watching SpongeBob, or that little girl that comes out when you feel loved by your friends and by your spouse, she's still there.
Yeah,
that little boy, he's still there. Why are you abusing them? Because you didn't show up for work on time, because your boss said you're not a good employee because you showed up late. No, who are they to break you down?
Yeah.
The same way you'd protect your child. I always tell people, the same way you'd protect your child, fist and all, protect your inner child.
So nice. That's a good advice.
Protect your inner child. The same way you'd fight for your child and be like, you have no right hitting my child. You have no right beating my child. They were wrong, fine, but you had no right. Same thing. No one has any right to break you down. No one, not a friend, not a spouse, not a family member. No one has any right to break you down.
Absolutely.
And I feel like standing in that authority is really good, especially on this journey. Stand in your authority. There's days you're going to do things and people are going to be like, are you okay? What is wrong with you? But you know very well why you're doing this.
Plus, people always have an opinion.
Everyone is entitled to opinions. Yeah. They can have them. But when I'm on my jet, don't call me. When you see my face on that billboard, I beg, don't call me. Usinitafute sikujui. Because where were you? And you know, I normally see, just to digress, when people start on their journeys and then with time they get wealthy and their status of living rises, what is the common narrative? They changed. They did not change. They became who they were meant to be. It's the money that gives them the freedom to. Because a lot of times people are shy and they fear visibility because they do not feel like they are worth being seen, like they are worth being respected. Until they get the money and they realize, God damn it. Yes. So you find someone who was quiet and calm but then they get rich and it's like, manze, see, this is you. I don't judge people. I like, you know what? Good for you. I'm glad you finally had the space to express yourself, because how much longer were you going to compress? How much longer were you going to fit in space? Were you going to stay in spaces that do not serve you?
Yeah.
So I normally say, before you start saying someone changed, ask yourself, what convenience have they stopped offering to you? There's a convenience they've stopped giving.
Yeah.
There's something they stopped giving you that you now feel like you're entitled to. And that is why you say they've changed. You do not want to admit that the inconvenience hurts you. You make it look like, oh, wanajionanga watamu squeeze. They've changed.
It's also so hard to tell someone that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I feel like self-development is a two-way journey. You don't just grow. It's not that with social media, I myself grow.
Yeah.
As you grow, understand that you're going to learn things and you're going to challenge yourself.
A lot.
You are going to challenge. You are going to realize you've been doing certain things that are just not healthy for you and for the people around you. And it is those moments of accountability that determine if you're really on that journey. It is those moments of accountability that actually determine if you are on that journey. Because if it can't be self-development in the sense that everyone else is doing something wrong except you.
Except
Jesus?
You, what?
You're not. And I learned that the hard way. When I started, you can't tell me I'm wrong. I've read 5 books.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? I can't be wrong. Miss koseangi watu.
And then it's the way they put someone also on the defensive side. Like you're willing so much to go so hard, so far for it.
But then I sat and I realized, you know what? As I grow, I don't just learn good new things. I unlearn things about myself.
It's true.
And in unlearning those things, you take accountability.
Sure.
You take accountability for those moments. So it's a two-way traffic. As you learn, as you become better, you will break down. And it's those times that you're going to say, man, I did this and I could have done better. But you know what? Fine. I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
And I make peace with that. When another situation like that comes, you have the chance to rectify. You have the chance to unback your trust within yourself.
Within yourselves.
And also, keep promises to yourself. Please keep promises to yourself. Take it from me. Keep promises to yourself. These small things you say, I'm going to, I will, later. Understand that when you make a promise to yourself, it's like me making a promise to you. You're making a promise to your inner child. When you say, I'm going to start that business, I'm going to experiment with this, I'm going to start this new strategy, you are literally telling your child, tunaenda supermarket.
Na ikifika hiyo time, lazima tutaenda.
You don't go. Now this child is broken. She's crying. She's like, you know what? She never goes. She never does it. And it's like, why do you think you're struggling with self-trust? Why do you think for some reason you can't uphold boundaries? It's because you do not keep your promises to yourself. Because if I have boundaries and if I have standards, and I say, you know what, I don't tolerate this, I don't condone this, and then someone comes and does it and I condone it, what does that say to me mentally? I can't stand. I have no spine for myself. You find you get stuck with these trauma bonds, with all these things. But when someone does it, and you're like, you know what, I love you, but that statement is powerful in self-development and growth. I love you, but I love you. I love you is not a complete statement. I love you now. You can no. Yeah. I love you, but I want you to understand that I do not condone this kind of behavior. I'm going to give you another chance. And if you do not rectify, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to cut you off.
Yeah.
When I cut you off, don't come back. You can go out and say, Tina did this, but truth be told, I warned you.
Yeah, I told you before.
I told you. I told you very well. You thought I was joking.
Yeah.
So you find when you uphold those boundaries with time, you walk out here and you're like, you know what, no, you can't, I'm unbogable, you can't play with me.
I also feel like whenever you keep a promise to yourself, you always feel happy about it.
Like
there's a certain joy that comes from within.
Exactly. And even procrastination does not become an issue anymore. Yes, you're still going to procrastinate, but not as much. And that burden won't be there. It won't be crushing you.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, you know what, maybe I have 5 tasks today. Let me do the first 3. See how it goes. You'll finish the 3. If you don't have energy for the other 2, fine. If you do, continue. But just keep promises to yourself.
Yeah.
And also, if your dream does not scare you, it's not big enough. You need to sit down and think of these dreams and be like...
wow.
I think I need to get high to get through this, you know? Because when those visions, those flashes of who you could be, because they come, it's like you see yourself doing this, or you see someone living that life and for some reason you can recognize it. You've never been in that lifestyle, but you recognize it.
It's because the way you are saying about the inner energy, like it can form something in you that you can recognize that it might not be there present, but in future it's there.
Greatness recognizes greatness. That is why you're going to see someone doing something great and you're like, because you know that's where the real Jesus is. That's
Yeah.
where we are going to. So if your dream doesn't scare you enough, you're not doing enough. You're not there. You've not pushed yourself enough.
Okay. That's amazing.
You need to think of a goal that you have and you're like, I think I'll run mad. I think I'll run. And when you find like this successful, high-achieving people, that is how they operate. Even if you sit with them, you're going to laugh because the figures they quote, the things they say, it's like, my goodness, people are doing this. So I'm actually playing small. I am actually playing small because if people are playing at this level, imagine how much more it could be.
Yeah, it could be. And then there is enough for everyone.
There's enough for everyone. You don't lose. I don't lose. I don't win. Like, it's not a win-lose situation. It's a win-win. It's always going to be a win-win
situation.
You have a product. I have a product. The client comes. They don't like my product. Fine. I refer them to you. I don't lose. I win a chance to perfect my service. You win a client.
Yeah, you win a client. Yes, that's so true.
Breakups happen. Sometimes some breakups are just, someone can genuinely just mess you up. Like, at no point can they say this is for the best. No, some people are they just mess you up. They're just sent in your life to crush you. But there's breakups where it's like, it was fun, we had our moments, but maybe in another lifetime. We are not ready for this. Pain, but room for growth. You meet 5 years later, some people rekindle, some people don't. But you'll meet 5 years later and you're like, you know what, we did a good thing. It was painful, but we did a good thing. Another thing with growth is painful. Like I said, it's painful. Especially boundaries. Boundaries are painful. If you're enforcing boundaries and smiling, you're not doing it right. Listen to me.
It must...
If you're enforcing boundaries...
give you that a pinch.
If you're enforcing boundaries and you're not crying, or at least you do not feel like you're not doing it right. Because boundaries are you communicating to yourself that this is a new standard of existence. This is new. You get? And you find, especially if you can uphold boundaries against something that was convenient for you, that is a sign of growth. It's easy to uphold boundaries against something that does not serve you.
Yeah.
They don't look too good.
Yeah.
They don't text me after 2 days that wakai vizuri, they can go. But someone who looks good, they have money, they're just what you wanted, but for some reason they're inconsistent, and you told yourself that you're not going to put yourself in that situation again. You're going to respect yourself so much. And you find that builds a lot of mental resilience. It builds a lot of mental resilience. So if you are upholding boundaries and you're not crying, or at least feeling like you're in a war, you're not doing it right.
Okay, that's
you're not
amazing.
doing it right.
Perfect. Love the way you have articulated it so well.
Yeah,
as you always do.
Amen. We never disappoint.
Yeah, so this comes to the end of this episode. How can we get in touch with you?
Okay, so on my socials, it's Tina Love. When you just search Tina Love, it's gonna come, and then they're all linked together. Tina Love, YouTube. I have a channel where I primarily give like advice videos. That is where I'll shout at you. That's where I'll shout at you with a board or a whiteboard. I have another one for vlogs. It's linked. Like, you just find one, and they're all linked. I think maybe you'll have my socials in the description box.
Yes,
sure. They can go check it out. But I'm looking forward to having you guys, and I'm genuinely happy you had me today.
Yeah, I like how you actually tell people, get your lives. Do your life seriously. Stop taking it like a joke.
Be very intentional, manze. Just fight for your dream.
Fight for it. Fight for your life.
Fight. You need to be willing to see the world burn.
Yeah, exactly.
You need to be willing to see the world burn.
Yeah. So thank you so much, and thank you for the advice you have given us, all the information. We have a lot to digest and take in.
Not part one.
Yeah. We'll be back here again for another one.
Yeah.
I think I'm so happy when I see people do something good for themselves, not necessarily for others, but for yourself. You can look back next year and be like, next year I did time management, whatever I did, habits, boundaries, and I can name them even though they're not so many. But and I'm feeling good about Harriet that is there in 2026. That's a win-win.
Yeah, you can look back. Last one. If you feel like you're not growing, ask yourself, would I switch places with the version of me from 5 months ago?
Oh, yeah.
1 year ago? No, I would not.
I would not.
That means you've grown.
You're growing.
But if you would say yes, something's wrong. But if you can confidently say, you know what, this time that I'm in might be rough, but I wouldn't change it for anyone else or for who I was.
Yeah.
That is enough sign that you're growing. That is enough sign that you've made changes. So if you can get into 2026 and look back and say, enyewe, 2025 I went to the gym for 2 months. 2026 nimemaliza hata 3.
Yes.
Man, me I'm good.
You're
so
good.
with time, it's progressive overload. Don't over burden yourself at once. Break down those tasks and actively integrate them into your life one step at a time.
Awesome, yes.
Because if it feels hard, it's going to feel like a threat to your nervous system and you're going to sabotage.
Yes.
But if it feels easy, you're going to do it even if it's hard. That is why if it's something that you love, you might be so busy, but you're still going to have time to make content. You might be too busy to form a report for the work, but you'll still have time to record a 5-minute for your content. You might be too busy to go to your aunt's or to your friend's place, but you'll still have time to bake that piece of cake you love. So it's those things that you can do when times are tough. That is where your passion is. That is where your purpose. The things that you're willing to struggle for. If you can, I'm young enough to. If I ask you, can you wake up at 3 a.m. to do that thing? And you tell me no, you're in the wrong place. If you can't wake up at 3 a.m. to do that thing without complaining, you're in the wrong place. I can stay up recording content, editing. If a client says they want a call, even if there is another region, I'll get up and we'll have that call. Because I love it. Is it hard? Yes. But do I love it? Yes.
Exactly.
So if you can't wake up at 3 a.m. to do it, you're in the wrong place. Reevaluate yourself. Number 2, if you don't see yourself in that space for the next 5 years, something is missing. 5 years is a mark. 5 years is a mark. If you don't see yourself in that space for 5 years, I beg, start finding something else. Don't wait for those 5 years to end for you to realize I burnt my time.
5 years
I wasted
my
time. It's a lot. You could have done it. You could have built a business. You could have built a brand. You could have traveled. So if you can't see yourself in that space or with that thing for 5 years, sit back and ask yourself, what is not happening?
Thank you for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
And I'll be happy to have you the next time.
Amen.
And pleasure for having you for today's episode.
It was a lot of fun. It's just the board I didn't have.
You should have written how you usually... And you have a very nice handwriting. Anyway, thank you so much also for our viewers for watching. I hope you have learned something, and hoping to implement 1 or 2 things for yourself. And see you in our next episode, and leave the comments below for what you'd like to, what you have learned, what you'd like us to tackle with her next time she comes back. And also tell us if you have enjoyed, you can like the video. So see you in the next time, and bye.
Bye.